No.
Carol desperately wants to go home.
And I'm not ungrateful.
I know.
I just
But
don't know if...
She suffers from chronic lung disease and caught COVID. She's been well enough to go home since the 7th of January, but she can't because the hospital can't find care for her in the community.
Really upset I am.
What would make you feel safer and better? What would make you happier?
To go home, number one. And number two, to know I've got care. And sooner the better to get home.
Carol is one of 128 patients in Dudley's Russell's Hall Hospital who shouldn't be here.
Carol's story is typical of what is happening in the NHS right now, and it's one of the health service's biggest challenges. In this hospital alone, they could fill 5 wards with a number of patients who are medically fit to be discharged but can't be because there isn't any provision in the community for them.
It's a huge problem. Last week, there were almost 12,400 beds in England taken up by patients who no longer needed to be there.
In a care home, if you've got 2 members of staff that are positive for COVID or 2 patients, then that care home is closed for 14 days and you can't then discharge patients back into it. So again, those patients then remain in hospital until they can go back to that particular care home. So that is causing us some problems. We're not blaming anybody, we're working together. We have to make sure that we can discharge patients safely, and that's really important.
The staffing crisis that's stopping patients from being discharged is affecting every part of the NHS. Here in Dudley, there's been a 5-fold increase in COVID-related staff absences since the end of November.
Our situation is better this week than last week. However, we are preparing for the aftermath of the Christmas festivities. We are expecting in the next week or so that we may see an increase in staff absences. We're seeing the community prevalence increasing day by day.
As staff absences rose, so too did the number of COVID patients. There are 80 being cared for by the Trust right now, and half, like Richard, are unvaccinated.
I was never expecting this, like. You know, you're being so fit and healthy, and then all of a sudden you're sort of gasping for air. You know, I just never in a million years.
Somewhere has been found for Carol. It won't be long before her bed is filled again. The pressure is relentless. Ashish Joshi, Sky News, at the Russell's Hall Hospital in Dudley.